What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the updated Playtime co-factory. This is part 8 in this one, and we're going to be finishing off the, kind of back right side here. Except the, roofs on the little castle section we have here. We're not doing that quite yet, but we are getting the walls of it in, along with the walls on the back portion of it. So we're almost there with everything connecting. And, yeah, with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. So, as promised, we will do the right side, or as much of the right side as we can, I guess, until, I don't know, something explodes. You want to start by getting out the following materials. Yellow terracotta, smooth quartz slabs, andesite walls, diorite walls, black concrete, mangrove stairs, mangrove trapdoors, cyan terracotta, and sure, we'll go with the red concrete. So head to the right side, and ooh, that might have been a stupid idea to get red, but that's fine, whatever. We'll deal with our consequences later. You want to head to the right side, this yellow terracotta wall that we have, and you should already have the stone brought back a significant amount, not that that's important, but you want to take this, voice crack, you want to take this bottom right yellow terracotta and extend it back by 4. You'll then go back with 2 andesite walls, and then 31 yellow terracotta. This side does have windows, so you don't want to bring the wall up just yet. We can start with the obvious, which is bringing the andesite walls up with 2 diorite walls each. And then if we go front to back, you want to do the following pattern. You want to start here and place 2 smooth quartz slabs, 2 yellow terracotta. We're going to pretend the door is 2 smooth quartz slabs. You'll see why later. Then 2 yellow terracotta, 2 smooth quartz slabs, 3 yellow terracotta, 2 smooth quartz slabs, 3 yellow terracotta, 2 smooth quartz slabs, 3 yellow terracotta, and you want to keep that pattern going until the end of time. And you should end with 2 yellow terracotta at the, well, end. I don't really know what else to call it. There you go. You should have that. Each yellow terracotta, you want to bring up by 3. Again, leave the door open because it's a window, definitely. It is kind of a window, actually. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. I scheduled this morning in case anybody's wondering about a timetable for when everything happened. So yeah, you know, it only took me 7 parts, I guess. You want to place opposite on smooth quartz slabs connecting the top row of yellow terracotta together. That would include over the doorway, and that's why we pretended like the window was, or the door was a window. God, I got so invested in that door being a window that I thought it was actually a window and we were pretending it was a door. Anyway, on top of the door itself, you're going to place smooth quartz slabs over those walls, which will just give you a smaller window pretty much. This next part is going to be weird, but you're going to have to trust the process. Place 3 rows of yellow terracotta on top. That's not the weird part, but that is kind of weird, I guess. Seeing as how we're just going, you know, like 1 row over the cyan, but no further. Now it's for the actual weird part. If you go left to right, you want to do the following pattern. Well, first off, you want to start with 3 black concrete. Then place 7 yellow terracotta. 3 black concrete. And you're just going to keep repeating the 7 yellow and 3 black concrete. Until, again, the end of time. And you should end with 4 yellow for some reason. I don't know why, but... you know. So, specifically the rows of 7 yellow terracotta between those, you want to place black concrete on top of the middle 3 yellow terracotta. Which will give you this. Regardless of if you have your windows flat or not, this should be flat. As in, like, with the black concrete on the, you know, like, front and stuff. Extend each black concrete there up by 2, and it'll give you almost this, like, zigzaggy pattern of squares. It's like if you connected the dots, you'd be creating a really bad mountain range. I feel like a mountain range I would draw. you should have this. From that point, you're just bringing the yellow terracotta up until you either hit the stone or are in line with the stone. And you see you'll be over the edge a little bit there, but that's fine. I guess one row lower than the stone, but just, you know, it's kind of box it in like this, and all this will be yellow. I wanted to do something with this little wall, and I just thought this was kind of a cool look overall, having the, like, windows almost offset into 2 rows. I think it looks awesome. You know, obviously it's not the coolest thing on the build, but this was kind of when I just started doing some of the custom stuff, and it, you know, it worked well. It's not like I was needing it to, like, you know, be some award-winning window or something. As I usually say in the tutorials, it does the thing, so. Which is very vague, but also it does make enough sense. Anyway, it should look like this. You should probably know the drill from this point. It's the same 3x3 windows we've made like a billion times on this. In each corner of the black concrete, you'll place mangrove stairs kind of facing towards the center. Like so. And then you'll have mangrove trapdoors between all of them, which will either be opened or closed depending on how you want them, and they'll be open towards the outside, and you'll have another trapdoor off the sides of those. And you're going to do that on each of the 3x3s. I kind of go over that quickly because we've done it a million times. Just, yeah. Like, in general as well. I did it on the HN2 Museum. I did it on... We've done it on this a couple times. I did it on the Refresh Church. Refresh Church might have been different, though, wasn't it? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just dumb. But I feel like it was a little different for some reason. I don't know. Also, one thing... I mentioned this in one of the parts, and I just, like... It wasn't really, like, a huge mention. I think it was when I was talking about banners or trapdoors. The trapdoors will disappear after you're a certain distance away. I haven't really noticed it, though. Like, when I've been, you know, doing the images and stuff. Like, it doesn't really... it doesn't stick out to me. But I did notice it earlier when I was doing... It might have been an intro clip for this or something. Like, you could see out of the corner, because I was going across the front, basically, and I was kind of looking, like, at an angle, so you could still see the right side, and you would see the windows, or the trapdoors disappear on the circular windows, which was a little weird, but overall, it's really not that noticeable. You could definitely use slabs if you wanted. Obviously, that would only work on the top and bottom, but, you know, it's a thought. I think the trapdoors work better either way, though, for just the circular shape. Anyway, you should have this. Extend each of the cyan terracottas all the way back on this yellow. And it's just one row above that, right? Yeah. And then in line with the stone. Whoopsies. Just like so. Each of the windows on the bottom here, you'll black off with black concrete, a block behind them. That is not a block behind. There we go. And obviously the one over the door you're doing the same thing with. It's just not 4 rows. It's a 2x2, I think. Yeah, it would have to be a 2x2. Because the door is 2 blocks, and obviously the 2 slabs take up a couple of blocks. And I just know that it wouldn't be a 2x3 because it's rectangular that way. Anyway, that's so unrelated. But you should have this. Behind this wall, you want to place from this yellow terracotta, well, you're going to go back diagonally right with a red concrete. You're going to place 6 of a placeholder block going right, and then another red concrete. And then it'll just break the placeholder. And it'll give you this. Extend that red concrete back by 17. Then you'll go right 3. Back by 17. Right by 2. Then back by 16. Then left by 5. And then back by 17. Just like so. You should have this kind of really strange diagonal, not really diagonal line, but some sort of a like squiggly line if it was squared off on every potential corner. Extend each red concrete then up by 3. Yeah, just making sure. This next step is going to be almost inferencing, but I'll tell you how it works, but just... I don't want to say it's inferencing because that is not what it is. You'll just see. How's that sound? We're gonna go with that. I guess I'll do it in a different way so it makes more sense. But I don't know. We'll see. I like kind of know how I want to do it, but I also don't know fully. Like it's kind of just a play it as I go. That's how every tutorial is. You just don't know it. Anyway, you should end up with this. We'll take the furthest right one because I feel like this is the best example. Extend either, if you're looking from the like right side, extend either side of red concrete up by 3. In addition, you want to find the middle and extend it up by 3, which should be there. And then you can end up connecting that top row of red together to give you these like 2 block areas. And that you should be able to tell if they're symmetrical or not. You can fill them a block back in with black concrete or in line, whichever. And I would just count as you do this if you didn't count before. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, the window should be 7 blocks. Which you can also use that for the others. I'll bring the red concrete back on the sides up those 3 rows as well. And then for the ones that are like back further like this corner that we just would have placed, or you know, the inner corners don't count. Only the blocks that are visible from the right side you'll bring up by 3, and I'll connect together first and then split it down the center. Oh, it should be there. And then again, I'll just kind of make sure 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you want this same thing on all 4 of these, I think there is, or yeah, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom. And then I can fill straight across rather than needing to count. Although it's pretty obvious to tell if it's a block off. I'll place it a block off intentionally just to show you. Like the center is there, so I'll place it there, and yeah, you can definitely tell those are not the same size. Although that doesn't actually look horrible, like in the grand scheme of things. I think with the way the build is made, though, like as far as the factory image itself, it's kind of would be weird to go off-centered, but you totally could. It's not like it's not allowed. Anyway, you can place an additional row of red concrete on all of that, and I would bring that one poor little guy on the side up to the same height as well. That one will end up being brought higher, technically, but we're not worried about that just yet. And so the main wall should look like this. And that looks so weird without the white circles. Again, those matter a lot more than I realize, apparently. Nice. At the, like, front side here, these top 2 rows of red concrete can connect together. And it'll give you this large rectangular space, which should be, I think, a 6x6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it is a 6x6. Nice. I feel like now's a good time to clear your inventory and get out the following. Light blue concrete. Yellow concrete. Andesite stairs. Smooth quartz blocks. Might be smart to get back out red concrete. You want stone. Deep slate tile walls. Where are they? There they are. Andesite walls, and I guess yellow terracotta will be important. Y'all might hate that step because it's a freaking massive number. Because I was counting it before and I was like, good lord. Anyway, so from this point, you want to take out of this 6x6 space. At the left and right, just inside, you'll place 3 light blue concrete extending up from, I guess, the non-existent floor. You'll then place 3 yellow on top of that, and you'll actually connect the top row of yellow. This is concrete. Yellow concrete, the top row you'll connect together. You'll place an additional one in either top corner, and then fill in the center of that with andesite stairs. That just face forward. Bring the light blue and yellow concrete out in an additional row, and this will be like the doorways you have on the inside. I just felt like putting one on the outside because I thought it'd be kind of cool. Does it make sense? No, not really, but I feel like it's cool, so leave me alone. Anyway, from the right side of this, you want to take the right side pillar, and we're going to make the smooth quartz now, so you want to just place 2 smooth quartz above it, which is going to be in place of the red, just as a reminder. Extend that smooth quartz right row. Now, we're going to look at each of these from the right side, and again, we're going to go, you know, like left side is that way, right is that way, whatever. So between the 2 windows on this first one, you'll place smooth quartz in both blocks. You'll extend it down by 2 and up by 1. And then the top and bottom blocks will be brought left and right by 1 each. It'll give you an uppercase I. The other smooth quartz that still has red either side of it, you'll extend out by 2 on either side. To the right of this right window, you'll take the bottom red and replace it with a smooth quartz. Extend down 1, left 3, and then out of that row of 4, the middle 2 smooth quartz can be brought down again. Next section, you're going to take the left window of this one, and you're going to essentially, how do I explain this? You're going to take the red concrete left of it and make it smooth quartz, and then I guess you'll just extend down 1 and right by 2. I have another moss, like a couple moss blocks over here, actually, that shouldn't be there. From the right window, you'll take the rightmost red under it and count left by 1 and place 4 smooth quartz going left. Bottom, or middle 2 we brought down by 1 as per usual. Next section, you're doing the same you did there, where you're placing smooth quartz off the left, which extends down 1 and then right by 2. Between the 2 windows, this top red will be smooth quartz, and then you'll go up 1 and left 1. From the bottom left of this window, you'll trace it all the way down, and then count right by 1 and place 3 smooth quartz going right. To the right of this right window, you'll make both of these red smooth quartz and extend them back a row, kind of along that wall like so. I love having the inferences. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So this final section, the leftmost window, you'll place smooth quartz left of either block of it. You'll extend it down 1 and then right by 4. Middle 3 of that row of 5 can be brought down a row, and you'll also replicate that row of 3 above the window like so. A lot of that has been dirted off, I guess. That's a really great way to describe that. The left 4 blocks of the right window will be smooth quartz below, and then the middle 2 can be brought down with smooth quartz again like so. Nice. That's pretty much all the smooth quartz, although there is some on the opposite side of what we're about to make, so we do need it still. Going across the back from this back row of red concrete, you want to place the following. You want to place 7 stone, red concrete, that is not a red concrete, there we go. 7 stone, and then a red concrete. Extend each stone up with the following. 1 stone, 1 deep say tile wall, and then 4 andesite walls. And you'll do that on each of the stones again, and it'll give you some more little loading docks. Literally all of them are on like the back and right. I feel like that one would be the main one up there though, the one that's in the one VHS tape. Anyway, you should have this. You can extend this top red concrete across and then just kind of fill in or bring both these red concretes up until they connect. If you're looking at this, you want to take the right row of red concrete and extend it back towards the front of the build with 4 rows. Just like so. If you look at this wall of 5, you want to take the top right-hand corner of red and count down diagonally left by 1 and place 2 smooth quartz blocks moving left. Again, you're in the red. Place 3 more extending down, and then out of this 2x4, the middle 2 rows can be brought left and right by 1 each to give you a 4x4 square without the corners. My favorite. Direct your attention again from the back looking forward, and if you take this wall of red and this bottom right red, you'll go back diagonally right with a yellow terracotta, which is technically towards the front, but that's besides the point. Now, you want to bring this right by 85. Just like so. And kind of if you trace this forward, I'm going to actually see, okay, that's 10,026. If I do trace it all the way forward, where will I be? I will be right... I'll be between these 2 windows. Crazy. But yeah. I wouldn't worry about that being too correct because we're going to do the section above it first anyway, and that has more of a pattern going on, so we can use that pattern to make sure that that number is actually correct. But regardless of if it's correct or not, I want you to bring that up with 7 rows of yellow terracotta. And yeah. It shouldn't be in line with anything in theory because this wall's further out than the other side. I know you could like look over and be like, further back than the other yellow right now, which this is technically a different wall. It's like just an underside wall that I didn't know what to do with, so I just made it a blank yellow wall, which is, I guess, what the entire back is, actually. I mean, it's not, because, you know, there's the thing that we're working on right now, and there's the sections we've already done, but regardless. If we could finish the, like, castle, that'd be pretty cool. Or at least get the main majority of it done. Anyway, you should end up with this. Now, what might be the best method for the castle? I think it might be smart to make some of these roofs because, yeah, they're just kind of, it's going to be in our way regardless. Now, you can clear your inventory and get out the following. We're just going to kind of make a couple of these. I don't think we'll do all of them right now. You just want warped slabs and warped planks, actually. And from each of these sections of red, except for the back is a little bit different. But you want to place a row of warp planks off of the like right side, the side with the windows. And again, the inner corners you will leave open because they're technically a part of a different section. So they're part of whatever section sticks out further than it, like so. Extend each of those rows of warp planks first, right with a row of warped planks, and then a row of warp slabs. And it will kind of connect some of the things together a little bit. It won't quite be perfect, but that's okay. It's not necessarily supposed to connect perfectly, though, anyway. They're supposed to be a little bit different. Yeah, we're only 20 minutes in. I feel like we get a good bit done. So we're going to talk about specifically, like, the front two. You'll extend each of these front two forward with the same warped planks and slabs, so they overhang by 1. You can actually do that with all of them, just have them overhang on the sides where they stick out, which for this one will be both sides, and then the back one will be the back. The back one might actually be the most useful to do, but we're not going to do the back one because it doesn't matter technically that much. As for this front one, you're going to extend this row of warped left with an upside down warp slab, up with a slab, left with 2 planks, left with an upside down slab, left with a slab, left with 2 planks, left with an upside down slab, and then up with a slab. And you can do the same thing with the next one. This just kind of, you're going to have this slab here, so just, you know, place the upside down warp slab. Don't really think about it too hard. And you want to do the same thing, same pattern, except you want to make sure you go to the same distance back. It will be higher. That's fine. You're going to be, what, a full block higher, I think? Yeah, about a full block higher. Just don't worry about that. It is what it is. What you can do from this point is you can actually mark out the... You can mark out the third. However, we're going to do it a little bit probably differently. So again, if you aren't overhanging by 1 right now, you want to make sure that you are overhanging by 1 on the, I guess, front here. And again, you're going to take this, it'll be the 3rd plank left. You'll place a slab on top, 2 planks left. And then you want to do this until you have in total 4 rows of 2 planks. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd is the one I just placed, and then 4th will be there. And you'll notice if you line it up, you're a little bit further forward. You're actually in line with this slab right here on the previous one, the second to last set of slabs. And yeah, that's fine. If you basically take the front roof, it will be the whole thing back for this one until you run into where that peak is. You can fill under it if you want, but for this one, it doesn't matter that much. Some of them it will, this one it won't, because it's going to cover up everything anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to fill it until I basically run into where it is and just stop. The next one, you only want to fill up to this slab, which is going to hit you into the end of the, one in front. And again, you don't really need to fill under it, you just need to fill till you're in line with it, because most of the time you'll just hit it. Whoopsies. So yeah, it will be a little bit shorter, but that's kind of part of the play here. God, why do I keep doing... Wait, oh no, that was right, never mind. I'm getting thrown off by the fact that there's 2 roofs. I guess. I don't know. at like 2 different levels, even though I did that originally and had no problems. Anyway, it should look like this. Now, doing the castles, the castle pillar here might make the most sense. Let's just get ourselves prepared. So get rid of the warp. We might get it back out depending on if we have enough, but I doubt we will. You want to get out light blue concrete, bamboo slabs, magenta terracotta, gray terracotta, purple pillars. You could technically use blocks. I textured with blocks, but it doesn't matter, I guess, that much. Dark oak slabs, black concrete, and warped slabs and warped planks we can get back out because we do have the inventory space. I didn't want to still have them, and God forbid we needed the space, you know? So anyway, from the... It'll be the second roof back. You're going to look from the right side, and again, you're going to be looking basically across the build long ways like this. And if you take the leftmost row of this second roof, you want to take this back warp slab and extend it right with a slab, and then a light blue concrete. In addition, extend that slab forward with 3 light blue concrete. Then go forward diagonally right, which is going to be kind of that way, basically that way. You see where it is. Forward 1, right 1, forward diagonally right 1, right 2, back diagonally right 1, right 1, back 1, and then back diagonally right 1. You can bring each of these light blue concretes down until they hit something. Now, if they hit like a warp slab like this, you're breaking the warp slab and replacing it with light blue. If they hit a warp plank on the edge like this, where you can still see the warp, I'd also break that and replace it with light blue concrete. So I guess basically just bring it down until you can't see it anymore. Which will give you this. If you take the furthest right side, you're going to go back diagonally right with a magenta terracotta. Extended right by 8. Then place a purple pillar. I'm not really worried about direction yet. They will eventually have to be upward facing, but it's not important. And then you'll go right with 10 magenta terracotta, purple pillar, and then 9 magenta terracotta. Then go forward diagonally right by 2 with light blue concrete. Forward 1, right 1, forward diagonally right 1, right by 2, and I'm just going to confirm that that number should be that. Yes. Yeah. Back diagonally right 1, right 1, back 1, back diagonally right 1, back by 2, back diagonally left, back, left, and then back diagonally left with a light blue. And you should kind of have this. From that end light blue, you want to go back diagonally left with a magenta terracotta. And so I just want to confirm that I am at the correct height here and kind of know that we don't... Okay, yeah. Just making sure that there wasn't any windows. And you want to extend this magenta terracotta along the back with 8 magenta. Then a purple pillar, then 10 magenta, purple pillar, 9 magenta, purple pillar, 10 magenta, purple pillar, 9 magenta, purple pillar, 10 magenta, purple pillar, almost there, I swear. 9 magenta, purple pillar, 10 magenta, purple pillar, and then finally 9 magenta. And you should end in line with the final yellow terracotta, if everything is done correctly. Now, if you're off the yellow, again, I would just change the yellow, because you'll figure out pretty quickly if the magenta is what's wrong, which I would probably put my money on it being that yellow. 85 is a lot harder to count than 10, so Even though it was 10 like 7 times. I mean, it was 10 and 9, but you get the point. So, from this, well, point, it might be logical to fill up these roofs and get everything connected. Now, again, the roofs are pretty much the same, like, each of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the back of this next one, and I'm going to do the same thing with the upside down warp slab plank, where it's, you know, the 1 slab, 2 planks, etc. going up. And the plank should connect perfectly into this magenta. And then from there, you can kind of just connect this roof together front to back. This one is easy, because, you know, it's the furthest out, so nothing will really get in the way. Unfortunately, it also has the weirdest thing going on, which has to do with the back roof and just the way that they kind of sit on each other. Or I guess... No, I guess that makes enough sense, whatever. Should look like this. For the back one, I want you to do this thing with the warp that we did on the one side of it on the other. So take this little row of 5 red and place warp planks off of it, which I'll extend off of the back by 1. I'll then extend it off of the left entirely with a full row of warp planks and then a row of warp slabs. And again, I'll take these overhanging ones and I'll go in with an upside down slab. Up with a slab. In with 2 planks. In with an upside down slab. Up with a slab. In with 2 planks. In with an upside down slab. Up with a slab, and you should connect together with 1 plank. That is not a plank. There we go. And so again, you're going to fill this roof forward to this distance. Now, you have the light blue concrete here, this little, like, circle. So just make sure you bring this down as you're going about. And you see, like, I'm just going to bring it down as I fill each row. And then I'll just go to under this roof. You don't want to go any further, but you do want to go under it by 1 block. And so again, I'll bring the next light blue down until it's behind the warp slabs. And then if I just bring the planks across, it'll connect into the light blue. And then I'll bring these down by 1, because I know I only need them down by... Actually, I do... No, yeah, I do need them down by 1. And then these planks will slide in next to them. Bring these light blues down by 1. Connect these slabs into them. And yeah, you know. And then over here, you should end up with pretty much the end, because you don't want to go into the magenta. But on this side, you do have to keep going. And eventually you'll end up connecting into the magenta here as well, which is just going to be the... Well, it'll be further. So I'm going to connect it all into the magenta, I think, for now. And we'll deal with it later. Like, I'll bring this warp down as well. But yeah, we'll deal with that later. As in, probably literally right now. But that's it's not important. Anyway, you should end up with this. And so, again, you should have some gaps and stuff, but that's not really a huge deal. Now, we don't have red concrete? Really? Oh yeah, I guess that checks out. You can you get rid of anything? I don't actually think you can. That's unfortunate. So, we'll get rid of the warp subs just for a sec and get out red concrete, because you do want to bring the, like, side of this peak down with red concrete just to fill in these little gaps. You might want to do this from the inside, and then you can kind of see just where you actually need it. Should just be little rows of 3 like so. I'm also going to bring the magenta terracotta here down so it covers up those warp slabs, and I think that'll cover up... Oh, good lord, why am I lagging? That should cover up everything in theory. Yeah. In addition, with the red concrete, the side of this peak on the far back can actually be filled in with also red concrete. I guess that's why I mentioned that we still needed the red concrete for that? I don't know. It's just a thought. Nice. You can get rid of your red concrete now and get back out warp slabs. And off of the top row of yellow terracotta here, you want to place a row of upside down warp slabs going all the way across. It'll slide under the roof there on, I guess, the left of it. Well, it's the right of it from the front, but it's left of it if you're looking, and, you know, it'll just go all the way across. Nice. On top of the row of yellow terracotta, you're placing a full row of warp planks. And again, if you have anything from this roof left over, you can just destroy what you need to. You'll place a row of warp slabs on top of that row of planks, and in addition, it's going to keep extending, again, to the left until it connects into that red concrete roof. And then in from that row of slabs by a row, you'll place a row of warp planks, which will just connect into whatever it needs to over here, and I think I'll have to destroy a slab for it, yeah. And it should give you this. The magenta terracotta and purple pillars I'll bring down a row. Make sure the purple pillars are upward facing now. This might be a good point to adjust all of that, at least on this side. I know we do have the little bit at the left that does need to be adjusted still, but I'm just mentioning this back side specifically because we're probably going to start with this side anyway, because it's the more painstaking one, so, you know, might as well get it out of the way. And again, I will adjust these so each of these face upward. Yeah, I'll wait on the side. You should have this. Now, on both sides, we might as well do it on both at the same time. You want to extend each purple pillar up by 11. And they should be upward facing. Just make sure that I was right as well before I confirm that in the, you know. Yeah, if it's wrong in a situation like that, you won't hear the number. Like, if I say, let me make sure it's right, it won't be wrong. Because it'd be cut out of the video if it was wrong. Just so you guys are a little bit more, I guess, reassured about that. Because, you know, whenever I'm here, let me just make sure that I'm right here, you know. Generally, that would mean I'm wrong, but... or not exactly sure about it, but... You know, there is the lovely power of editing, which helps. And again, now I'm going to adjust these pillars, at least the ones that I need to. Which is actually neither of them nice. So I'm just not going to deal with them. Not my problem anymore. Anyway, you should have this. From this point on each magenta terracotta, you can place an additional magenta terracotta. This next step is kind of... It's weird. I'll explain it a couple times because there's two different things that are going on, but it's the same thing just with like a number that changes. But it's not like a, you know, it's not like the whole thing changes. It's just that we have 9s and 10s and they work the same. So I kind of want to explain them the same. So on each of them, you're going to take the magenta, on the magenta, good lord, I'm just exploding. And you'll place 3 magenta terracotta extending in from both sides. It'll either leave you with a gap of 3 or a gap of 4. And then in the middle, you'll place gray terracotta for whatever that number is, like so. Off the magentas left and right of it, the very first ones, you'll place 7 gray terracotta extending up. Then a magenta terracotta, and you'll connect the gray terracottas together from there. Or connect the magentas together with gray terracotta, I guess, which should give you this. And again, they're 2 different lengths, but they're the same. With the exception of the middle of these windows, you'll fill in the rest of the wall panel with magenta terracotta, which is just going to be up to the height of the purple pillars, basically. Just like so. God, again, it looks so weird untextured. I can't get used to it. I can't take it. Nice. Also looks weird with only 2 panels, but I guess that's besides the point. If you take the gray terracotta on the left and right, you'll counter the second one down, and you'll place a row of dark oak slabs going across. You'll also do the same with the row below it, and it'll give you these kinds of lines through the windows, which just splits them up a little bit and makes them look at least better in my opinion. And so again, to just reiterate as I said I would, you'll place 3 magenta terracotta in from either side on the bottom. Gray in the middle, either 4 or 3. The magenta either side of that you'll bring up with, I already forgot the number, that's really good. 8 gray terracotta? 7 gray terracotta, I apologize. Then a magenta, and then you'll connect those magentas together with a gray. Second gray down, and third gray down on these side rows you'll connect together with dark oak slabs, and the rest of the panel can be magenta terracotta. I'd like to leave the windows alone for now. And so again, you're doing this with every single panel. Now, as for the number, as you see, I kind of oopsied it. Just, you know, just look over. Or just place the row of magenta at the top first, and then you just will end up being 1 off of that when you end the row, because, you know, the top is just below it like so. And yeah, a whole lot of this on both the 2 sides that we have. Now, I would like to, ideally here, did I leave a panel? Why did I do that? Whatever. I would like to, ideally, I think, at this point, just kind of get, like, the main portions of this done, and then kind of once we have it down, doing the top shouldn't be too hard. And after, I think we're gonna kind of take a break from doing the back in, I guess, the next part. And once we finish the castle, we'll do those smokestacks, and then after the smokestacks, we'll do the... I forgot the slabs, didn't I? Yeah, I forgot the slabs. That's cool. After the smokestacks, we'll finish off the back, and then it'll be texturing and stuff. So yeah, I mean, not that far away. Maybe like 2 more parts for the actual build. And then... I don't know. Like 1 more for texturing and like 2 for just the extra curriculars. Good lord, that was a word. I guess everything is a word in theory. Why do I keep forgetting the slabs? What did the slabs do to me? Maybe because they're kind of a weird detail that I like never add. But I was like, you know what, it'd be cool if I added them, and so I did. Kind of remind me of like a submarine door almost. That's what these windows look like. I'm not gonna say that was my intention because it wasn't, but it's just kind of like what I'm thinking of building these right now. Or like oopsies, I forgot that was 4, not 3. I feel like there was something else I was thinking of that like fit it. From like a game or a show or something. Maybe it's just SpongeBob, who knows? Maybe I'm just thinking of like SpongeBob's door, his front door, like Sandy's. I guess they're all the same, so... Right, they are? Yeah, they're all like the same kind of metal door. I was thinking Sandy's because, you know, hers is kind of like the same as like a submarine, keep the water out. The point of a submarine is to be able to breathe, I think. And then this side... I'm gonna do it weirdly, because why not? And yeah. Nothing crazy. Hopefully. Maybe a little out there, but not crazy. Unless it is, who knows? I'm just the weatherman, even though I don't know what the weather is right now. Other than that, it's warm remotely, to some extent. In my area. The temperature exceeds the temperature of warm. It's all for me. Anyway, yeah, you should have something that looks kind of like this, pretty much, except I'm not done yet. It should look like this. Just have 2 kind of random walls which don't connect. Fill in the back of the windows with black concrete. I don't feel like being here all day, so I'm gonna /fill this, because who's gonna stop me, in theory? And yeah, I advise maybe pausing or doing the same if you're familiar with /fill. If not, I got a whole video on it, and I'm not gonna remember to link, because I never do. I know I said that in one video, like I'll maybe link it if I remember, and I don't even remember what video that is. I just remembered that I said it. So, you know, that's something. But anyway, it'll look like this from the outside once you're done that. And I'll give you a second as I debate my life's choices. Not really, as I figure out what I want to do next. Okay. So, I want to mark 1 more pillar first. Well, actually, no, because that pillar goes to the ground, and it's different. So, I mean, it's not, that's the only reason it's different, because it goes to the ground. The 2 light blue concrete pillars we have... You want to take the... I'm going to take either side of the rows of 3 here. Except for, like, the... Well, no, I guess that side does count, actually, doesn't it? Yeah, that has windows on it. So just each of the sides, like, rows of 3. And I'm going to bring this up with just X amount of light blue concrete. I want to be fairly tall here. Like, I want to be taller than the magenta walls, but... Try to keep them the same height, but don't really worry about it in general, because it's just to help us place the next step. It's really not important that much. Again, I'll try to mark it about. That looks right, but I could always be wrong. Who knows? And so yeah, the reason we are leaving the other one alone is because, or the third one alone, I guess, is because it goes all the way down, and we can't really mark it the same because it actually would have like a window here. I don't know, that's pretty weird. So I'm gonna use the front left one here. They should be both in line if you, like, check the Y height. You see that's 86. This one should also be 86. Oh, no, it's 85. So, yeah, use this left one here, and you should have 3 rows of light blue concrete on this side here. And above it, you'll place a bamboo slab. Next block up, an upside down bamboo slab. Then 2 light blue concrete, bamboo slab, upside down bamboo slab, 2 light blue concrete, and etc, etc. You want in total on this pillar 5 windows. So that's 3, 4, and 5, and then above it, you just want a singular light blue concrete. I was literally perfect in height there. You can't make that one up. But yeah, and you want each of the windows to be in line with that set. They don't change Y level because that would just cause problems. But yeah, you want this on each of the pillars that you have. And again, when you do the other one, you want to make sure you start at the same point. So like you see here, not necessarily 3 light blue is a good measurement, but I'm going to just trace like this, and I'll see, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to need a 4th light blue here, and I can confirm that it is 4. Yes, and then I'll need the slabs, 2 light blue, slabs, whatever. Keep that pattern going. You could try to add them, and yeah, you see I'm perfect again. You could try to add them on the corners if you want. Just consider the fact that they wouldn't be visible if you put them on the very corner. So I probably would have had I made a better corner, like if I had it 3, 2, 2, rather than the corner of the 2s shared. But anyway, yeah, you should have this. The rest of the light blue concrete can be brought up to that same height, because why not? It's the only real reason. I don't think we need a real reason, do we? I guess the real reason it's because that's what you need to do. I don't know. And yeah, we'll do the 3rd one, I think. And there's a couple things I want to touch up first. And then that'll be the part. Because I realize there's a roof we forgot to fill in the front of. And I also want to bring that one yellow terracotta wall back to connect into all of this. So, just a couple minor things. Nothing crazy, and then it'll be on to the next part, which will hopefully finish this castle segment. We got the hard part of it done, which is good. Although the roof does take a little while, because it's just a lot of blocks. Although I guess as most things are in this game. It's all a lot of blocks. I would love to know, like, if I took each of my projects and took the total number of blocks, which would have the most? Probably LN2. But, like, and also, what would the most used block be overall? Anyway, you should have this. Now, as for the other one, again, if you take the bottom row of magenta terracotta at the back kind of side over here, and we're going to look at forward from the back, and again, we're going to do the thing where, you know, looking forward is going to be, or like towards the front would be backwards, technically. But from this back right, or front right magenta, you're going to go forward diagonally right by 2 with light blue. You'll extend right 1, forward 1, forward diagonally right 1, right with an upside down bamboo slab, then a light blue concrete, then back diagonally right still with a light blue, right, back, back diagonally right, back with an upside down bamboo slab, and then back with a light blue. You can, I guess, get rid of your warp stuff and get out red nether bricks and red nether brick slabs. And so the same thing can apply here. You're bringing this down with the same pattern. You'll have the slab below and then 2 light blue concrete. And then you'll have upside down slab, slab, and 2 light blue below that. And that'll be the bottom of the pillar. As for up from that, you want 5 more windows above. So it should line up still perfectly. And again, I'll just like kind of sort of bring the sides up first. And then I'll have the 2 light blue, bamboo slab, upside down bamboo, 2 light blue, bamboo, upside down bamboo, etc. And I'm kind of gonna look over and just see, like, that looks still too short, so I'll go 1 more. You could also count the windows, that probably is easier. It should be 7 in total. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again, you'll have the 1 light blue on top. And you kind of just trace over and confirm, and I don't even need to go that far. I can see that I'm close enough, because I'd be 3 blocks off on anywhere else. But yeah, and you just want to do this, and again, the light blue's getting brought up. The windows are on the 2 sides with the windows. That made no sense. And yeah, just a whole lot of circular pillaring. This is kind of another weird section if you are making an interior to figure out. I don't know how I want to use them yet. I think it's going to end up being entrance and exit points for the bouncy castle, which I put in here, thanks to somebody in my chat. I don't remember who, but whoever, there were a couple people suggesting it, I think, but whoever gave me the idea to actually make some sort of like a trampoline park or bouncy house or ball pit or whatever, any of those kinds of things, because they're all going in here, but yeah. And I'm even going to bring this light blue down, even though you don't actually need it, because it isn't important. And don't worry about that yellow needing to get brought over. You'll see that, like, yellow kind of just gets cut off. We're not worried about that just yet. Why did I bring that all the way down? What am I doing? Anyway, it should look like this. Assuming I have it all the way up, which I don't, so I have to keep filling. My bad, didn't mean to scam you. This could also be a good point to confirm that everything is in line based on this light blue pillar. Now, I'm not actually going to build anything, but I'm just going to kind of trace. So if I take the right side here, if I basically place a magenta terracotta or whatever behind this and I stand on this block, I'm going to move forward and backward from the build, and I'll see that the X coordinate is changing. So you see this is 658. If I basically go all the way across the back and check this yellow terracotta wall, we're going to hope that it's also 658. And would you look at that, it's 658. So if you do want to do that, that just can confirm that you have everything correct. I mean, worst case, it's not a huge deal. Again, there's a couple areas you could definitely push. Or you could even, like, especially if you have the yellow terracotta wall that way a block, you can just move this or, like, put it somewhere else on the pillar. And if you have to remove these windows, that's okay, too. But, yeah. Next step is taking the base of this, and you want to go down diagonally out on all sides and place red nether brick. You don't really want to add, like, the corners extra or anything. You just kind of want to go around basic like this. Extend it down by 2 rows, which should put it in line with the bottom of the yellow terracotta. Like so. On the rows of 3, exclude, well, I guess we don't have a row 3 on that side, but the 2 rows of 3 red nether brick, you'll place red nether brick slabs on top. And then the, like, where the 2 diagonals meet, the middle 2 nether brick blocks, these ones that are on the diagonal from each other, you'll place slabs on top of those as well. And it'll give you this. You can clear your inventory and get out the following. Yellow terracotta. Cyan terracotta. Warp slabs. Warped planks, and red concrete. And this will be where the part will end after we kind of get this stuff situated. First off, this yellow terracotta wall here at the back, you'll just bring over along with the warped roof where you can, just so it kind of fills in the gap between you and the pillar and makes the pillar blend into the wall a little bit better. Now, the other 2 things are fairly easy. It's not like we're doing anything crazy. If you head back to the right side, one of them is just something we missed, and the other is something that we neglected intentionally. But if you take this door, I guess I did, you didn't really have any say in that. This door here, the one with the andesite stairs, if you didn't already fill the area above it in with red concrete, you should. I never mentioned to, so if you did, good job, but I just kind of forgot. And then the yellow terracotta and cyan terracotta here on the, like, top of this wall, you want to just bring back and basically connect diagonally into the light blue concrete pillar. And yeah, that'll really, like, I guess, stitch off the rest of this wall. That's not the word I'm looking for, but close off would make sense, but close off is too simple. You gotta think a little outside the box. Come on now. And so we're gonna want the cyan terracotta as well, which we'll just connect in. And yeah, what might be smart to do before you end is getting out black concrete and just blocking off the back of these, like the inside of these bamboo windows with black concrete again, just to block inside, because, well, you can't place it in line anyway. And this is where I've mentioned, you know, just like using strips going up and down is a lot easier than placing every single window individually, especially if you don't care like me. Because caring is not something I should be doing right now, you know? It's just, like, it's a window. It's a window on a build. No one's gonna notice, and if I really need to break some of the black concrete, then I will make that a later problem, but it's faster for now when I don't have plans. But anyway, once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is Playtime Co-Factory part, what is it, 8 complete? Something like that. I don't know, numbers are hard. I mentioned it in the last part because I did only one part in my last recording. I'm thrown off with the numbers. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, Have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.